Hey everybody, I'm so glad that all of you are enjoying yourselves through this challenge. You guys are so great. I've really enjoyed getting to know all of you more and working with you on changing your life for the better. So thank you so much for involving yourself and putting yourself in there with all of your vulnerability and just really being ready for change. I've so appreciated being a part of this process with you so far. So just wanted a word of thanks to you. Secondly, I wanted to cover travel tips. Now, for me, this was a huge part of why the 21 Day Fix was a big deal to me and why it made me really want to share it with other people. Because as an opera singer and knowing a lot of people who travel all the time, this is a huge struggle for many people on how to keep regular exercise and how to have some sort of consistently good nutrition while sort of out of control when you are not at your own home and within your own schedule. So I have 5 tips for you that I have found to be the most helpful sort of mindsets and tools and tricks to keep on track for yourself. One, plane travel for me, I usually get very munchy and am kind of hungry and tend to, in the past I would buy little snacks here and there or a meal at an easy chain restaurant in an airport, and it just really isn't always the best option. So within the snack realm, what I usually do is either, similar to food prepping, I would chop up vegetables or have, little bite-sized vegetables or fruits like cherry tomatoes or grapes or carrots or celery, let's see, berries of any kind, really anything that you can fit into a little Tupperware. You could make some little oatmeal with bananas in it, whatever strikes your fancy for something very portable in a little baggie or in a Tupperware container. That is what I recommend. So that is one side of the equation. Another is also Shakeology. Shakeology is an amazingly portable thing that's just a huge pack of vitamins and minerals and probiotics and antioxidants and adaptogens and all these amazing things that give you so much energy and vitality that what better thing could you ask for on a travel day of all things that are one of the most exhausting things you can do. So Shakeology is a go-to for me. I will either, if I know I'm drinking it on the way there or, before I'm going through security, then I'll just already have the shake pre-made and in my little shaker cup, and that will be my snack going into the airport, so I'm less likely to buy things while I'm sitting in the airport waiting for my plane. Or if you have a really long layover or you, at some point after the security checkpoint where you can't have liquids, that you'll want your Shakeology. What I often do is carry either, if you get the bulk bags, just have one scoop put into a Ziploc bag and keep that readily accessible. Or, if you have the little tiny travel packets versions of Shakeology, then that's perfect. So have a portion or a couple portions, depending on how long your travel day is, ready, and you can go into pretty much any coffee shop. I have never come across anyone who said no, but you can walk into a Starbucks or a local coffee shop, whatever, and ask them to blend it in. It's really that easy. You can just buy, an iced coffee or like a coffee frappuccino, or just ask them to blend an iced coffee with the ice and the coffee and everything that's already in there with, the packet that you give them. And they will, I've never heard anyone having had any difficulty with that. So ask them to blend it for you, and it's super great. Otherwise, it's really not the end of the world if you do end up getting like an iced coffee and someone does say no, God forbid. I really haven't heard of that, so don't be afraid of that. But if that is not something you're interested in doing, or it's just not possible, bring your shaker cup and put the powder already in it, and then you can buy a coffee and pour it in there and shake it up. And there will be a little bit of, bits of powder that you will taste, but it's still, is going to taste amazing, and it's just going to have slightly, it's not going to be as creamy and wonderful as it usually is, but it'll still fill you and be full of all those great nutrients for you. So that's another option. As far as once you've gotten through the travel day, snacks and Shakeology are the best thing that I can offer as far as getting through it. But once you're there, how do you keep this routine of what you've been doing with your nutrition and fitness going on. So my next tip is to bring your DVDs and your nutrition plan with you. They're so small and so portable, so why not? But if you really, really are crammed for space and you're scared it might break or something like that, or you might lose it, then it's no problem not bringing the nutrition plan or DVDs now, because we have Beachbody On Demand, which you hopefully might have explored already and signed into. But if you haven't, once you sign in for the first time, that begins your 30-day trial, free trial rather. So you have 30 days free of doing anything you want with Beachbody On Demand. So if you haven't seen the post that was already explaining Beachbody On Demand, it is how we access the entire program plus more through the internet. So it's streaming. So you can access all of your workouts and the schedule and the nutrition plan and everything you'd possibly need through Beachbody On Demand, which is simply you go to club.teambeachbody.com and you sign in with your account with the email that you gave your coach here. And that will open your account for the first time and be the beginning of your free 30-day trial. So you will see not only the 21-day fix, which is the program you purchased, and all the materials that come with it and all the workouts and everything. So it's all at your fingertips through any sort of internet connection. But you also have access to a bazillion, I think 3,000 workouts of other programs, like whole complete programs like P90X and Insanity, as well as samples from tons and tons of other newer programs, older programs. There's just tons of options. So if you do kind of feel like, say you forgot your resistance bands or weights or whatever, and you need a different kind of workout that isn't needing equipment, you can search on there for workouts without equipment and try out a different program. And if you fall in love with it, then that's amazing. And you can get your subscription to the Beachbody On Demand permanently and play with those programs. Or you can order that next program for your next round of whatever, once you're done with 21-day fix, you have another program that you're really excited to do. So that's an awesome, awesome tool. Beachbody On Demand is amazing, and you have free 30 days with it. Like, definitely play with that. The third tip I kind of just touched on is resistance bands. Now, some of the workouts that you have don't require equipment and some of them do. So for the days that you do require equipment, she always has, the resistance band option. So that is a really, really cheap thing to pick up from, any sort of store like Walmart, Target, any sort of place that is super, super light and portable and bendy. So like you can fit it into any sort of little nook and cranny of your suitcase, and obviously doesn't weigh as much as your hand weights. So that is a great no excuses option for getting your workout in with the equipment that you need to get it done. As far as number 4 goes to scheduling. Now I know that whatever you're traveling for, might it be vacation or conference, or some sort of program that you're attending with a kind of schedule that's out of your control, or that you've planned extensively and you've got full days ahead, I definitely recommend morning workouts, because you're not going to get it in at the end of the day, or in between some sort of break. Like, I've been there, done that, and I've tried to schedule it in the middle of the day or at the end of the day, and I promise you it just won't happen. When you're out of your element and it's a lot of energy you're investing into whatever you're doing on that trip, it's really not likely that you're going to get it in. And I know sometimes it's tempting to say, oh, well, I walked a ton today, which is, energy being spent and all of that. But I highly doubt that you're sweating a ton, unless you're going on some sort of like grand adventure where you're like biking the Grand Canyon or something. You're probably not sweating as much as you might wish you thought you were, so you don't have to get your workout in. But just get it in. It's 30 minutes. Some of them are even shorter than 30 minutes. So just wake up a little bit earlier, get it done. You can either go to the hotel gym or do it in your room. And then it's out of the way, it's off your mind, and you feel energized and empowered and ready to go throughout the day for your vacation or whatever you're doing for work. And finally, tip number 5 is just do the best you can. I know that it's tricky with travel because your nutrition can sometimes be out of control and out of your control because of the options offered to you. So just do the best you can. I mean, if you have options and you can ask for alternatives, like a vegetarian option so that you get a little more vegetables in. I know even before I was a vegetarian or vegan, I asked for vegetarian options because often go-to foods for conferences are like subs or sandwiches and chips. And it's just really kind of the same thing over and over again, and tons and tons and tons of carbs, which zaps your energy, and then you're really not focused all the time. So having your Shakeology, a portable blender is also a super, super great thing if you can afford to get one. They have some that are really not that expensive on Amazon, so maybe look into it. Just a personal travel blender. Shakeology, having that every day is really, really helpful, as well as just doing the best you can with the choices that you have. So don't obsess, but also don't let yourself give in to, oh well. It's so easy to make excuses when you're not in your home territory and just say like, well, this day is shot. But you know, just do the best you can. Every meal you have a whole new set of choices, and you can choose to restart and do the absolute best you can for your body and your health and your goals. So just don't lose hope, and don't lose motivation about keeping up with that. And above all else, definitely have your Shakeology every day, guys, because it's going to be a lifesaver for your energy and your body. It's just not getting those tummy aches that a lot of people get traveling. And yeah, it's just, you know, the nutrients you absolutely need every day, whether you're on the road or not. So those are my tips for you traveling. I hope those help. And as always, offer your own tips or questions in the comments below. And I'm really excited to hear if you guys have any other ideas. So thank you so much for listening, and happy travels.